And because he's rich. The climax of the romantic entanglements occurred at a surprise gathering. Richard took Keisha to a judge's office to get married on the spot, bypassing her dream of 22 Clydesdales and 5,000 doves. Yes! Keisha screamed, flashing a ring that cost more than a mid-sized sedan. I'm Mrs. Richard. When the news reached Leslie and Joseph, the pressure mounted. Joseph pulled out a ring box. Leslie, he said, his voice trembling. Let's do it. Right now. Leslie froze. Oh, hell no. The rejection was so swift it gave Joseph whiplash. What? Why not? Because you only asked me because Richard asked Keisha. You're just following the trend. I'm not following a trend. I love you. Is it that time of the month? Joseph asked, making the fatal mistake that every man in history has been warned against. The silence that followed was so profound it could have been bottled and sold as a weapon. Did you just ask me if it's that time of the month? Leslie whispered, her voice a low, dangerous growl. Mayday! Mayday! Marcus shouted from the sidelines. You're losing altitude, Joseph. Pull up. But Joseph kept digging. I'm just saying, you're a little sensitive when the calendar hits a certain date. Get out! Leslie screamed. Epilogue. The Barry White. Encore. That night, Marcus and Angela sat on their porch, listening to the crickets and the distant sound of MJ playing video games. We're the only ones who aren't crazy, Angela said, leaning her head on Marcus's shoulder. We're definitely crazy, Marcus corrected. We just have a rhythm to our crazy. Inside the house, the faint sound of music began to drift through the walls. It was deep. It was soulful. It was unmistakable. MJ, sitting in his room, sighed and put on his noise-canceling headphones. Here we go again, he muttered. Barry White is in the building. But for Marcus and Angela, the music was a promise. Through the thin walls, the fake scandals, the Peaches interventions, and the salon wars, they were still standing, for better or for worse. Author's note: this story is a reimagining of the lives of the Williams family and their friends, capturing the heart, humor, and occasional insanity of relationships. In the world of Marcus and Angela, the walls may be thin, but the love is always thick. Thin walls and thicker skin. The Chronicles of Marcus and Angela. Chapter 1. The Low Octave Symphony. The walls of the Williams household were not merely partitions. They were acoustic conductors, historical archives of every argument, reconciliation, and late-night playlist ever enjoyed by Marcus and Angela. For MJ, their teenage son, these walls were a curse. I didn't want to hear it, but I kinda wanted to hear it. MJ muttered to himself as he poked at a soggy plate of eggs. But I know if I hear it, they're gonna come down smiling and happy, singing Larry White songs. Across the table, Miss V, the long-suffering housekeeper, with a tongue sharper than a chef's knife, paused her cleaning. Who is Larry White? However, you know, MJ said, dropping his voice into a cavernous, gravelly baritone. Old fat dude with the real deep voice. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. Baby. It's Barry White, you little fool. Miss V corrected, though she couldn't hide a smirk. The stairs creaked a warning. Marcus descended first, his face a mask of weary frustration rather than the post-coital glow MJ had feared. He wasn't singing. He wasn't even humming. This was bad news for the household stability. How was your night, Dad? MJ asked tentatively. Good, Marcus lied, his eyes darting toward the ceiling. Where's Mom? Coming down. Slept late. MJ's eyes lit up. Slept late? That's a good sign. It means y'all had a good night. Marcus sighed, a sound that carried the weight of 1,000 domestic disputes. Well, son, look, that's a no. Your mother and I were talking. Talking? MJ scoffed. Dad, the walls are thin. When that Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy, Marcus corrected automatically. Him too. When that music starts, I know what's happening. And then you come downstairs giggling, and Mama comes right behind you, and y'all are just hinging all morning. But today, silence, dead air. The arrival of the school bus saved Marcus from further interrogation, but as MJ exited, he threw one last warning over his shoulder. Stop with the talking. Start with the Larry White. My sanity depends on it. Chapter 2. Trust, Verify, and Smoke. The tension in the Williams house had a specific source. A woman named Sabrina Murphy. Sabrina claimed she had a child by Marcus. A claim that had resulted in Angela incinerating Marcus's designer wardrobe and his luxury car in a fit of righteous, high-octane fury. When Angela finally descended the stairs, she didn't look like a woman who had spent the night burning clothes. She looked like a woman who had reached a decision. Marcus, she said, her voice eerily calm. I've been thinking all night long. That explains all the smoke I saw coming out of your ears, Marcus muttered. I've decided to trust you, she continued, ignoring the jab. I believe you didn't sleep with this woman. I'm letting it go. The relief that washed over Marcus was visible. He looked like a man who had just been granted a stay of execution. Baby, you serious? Thank you. Bunny, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for those words. He moved to hug her, his mind already drifting toward a future that didn't involve him shopping at a thrift store for replacement suits. If I didn't have to go to work, I'd soundproof the room right now and show you how much I appreciate that trust. I love you, Marcus, she whispered. I love you too, Angela. As Marcus walked out the door, feeling 10 feet tall, Angela's face shifted instantly from loving wife to detective on a cold case. Trust, but verify, she hissed to herself. She pulled out a scrap of paper with an address on it. I need Sabrina Murphy's house. I'm not letting anything go until I see the receipts. Chapter 3. The ghost of one night stands past. At Lady Andy's salon, the atmosphere was vibrating with the sound of power drills and the scent of hairspray. The expansion was underway, managed by a contractor named Tariq. Tariq was a tall, handsome man who possessed a certain je ne sais quoi that made the stylists, Jennifer and Leslie, lose their collective minds. Angela, however, treated him with the coldness of a glacier. Is she even going to talk to me? Tariq asked Leslie as he measured a bearing wall. Or is she going to use you as a human walkie-talkie? Just do the job, Tariq, Leslie warned. She's happily married. I get that, Tariq said, looking at Angela's back. But that was 14 years ago, one night in college. I can't believe she doesn't even remember me. I would never forget her. Jennifer, eavesdropping from the next chair, gasped. 14 years ago? Angela? Our Angela was a wild child. She was special, Tariq sighed. She remembers, Jennifer whispered to Leslie. She told me she remembers every detail, but she's playing it cool because Marcus is already on the edge of a breakdown over the Sabrina Murphy thing. The salon was a tinderbox. Between the literal construction and the metaphorical wreckage of past flings, it was only a matter of time before someone struck a match. Chapter 4. The Investigation and the Trap. Angela, true to her word, or lack thereof, didn't go to the salon. She went to Sabrina Murphy's house. She didn't find a love rival. She found a liar. Sabrina confessed that she had been paid to harass Marcus by a former friend and that there was no baby. By the time Marcus arrived at the TV studio, where he co-hosted a sports show with his best friend, Joseph, a letter had arrived. It was from Sabrina, apologizing for the trouble and confirming that Angela had already paid her a visit. She told me she trusted me. Marcus fumed to Joseph and Richard. Then she goes behind my back to this woman's house? That's not trust. Marcus, let it go, Joseph advised. You're cleared. The car is gone. The clothes are ashes. But your reputation is intact. No, Marcus said, a devious glint in his eye. I'm going to make a point. She wants drama? I'll give her a Shakespearean tragedy. That evening, Angela returned home, riddled with guilt. She prepared a romantic dinner, lit candles, and waited. When Marcus walked in, he looked devastated. Baby? Angela began, her voice trembling. I have to tell you something. I went to Sabrina's. I know the truth. You were right. I'm so sorry I burned your car. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. She was practically on her knees, sobbing. I'll never fly off the handle again, I promise. Marcus looked at her,